Hello friends, it's Sarah the Itty Bitty Celtic Witch, and today I am here joining you to talk about learning green witchcraft, to talk about some specific and simple ways that you can work with plant energy on an everyday basis. So in my own path, connecting with plant energy, connecting with the wisdom of the plant realm is an ever evolving journey. It's something that continues to grow. I find that plants are great teachers, and as you work with them, they do sort of teach you what works best for them. And this can be on a sort of energetic level when you're learning the different energies that plants give off, and also on a very practical caring for them level. All of the different plants have different unique little things that need different amounts of sunlight, different amounts of water, and you don't have to be a perfect green thumb or a perfect gardener to wander down the green path. It is a journey, and it is something that I do get a lot of comments about on my green witchcraft videos. Do you need to be a sort of perfect gardener? And absolutely not. You can explore plant energy as a novice gardener without a garden, even just exploring plants outside, being aware of them mindfully and by learning about them, or by gardening indoors in potted plants, on a balcony, in a yard, whatever it is that sort of works best for your lifestyle. There's a lot of different ways that you can connect with plant energy, that you can explore green witchcraft, and little bumps happen along the way with green witchcraft. They really do. As I mentioned, there's different things learning about the plants and their unique needs to thrive. So along the way, sometimes plants get sick and you kind of have to jump into action. Sometimes nature takes its course, and that's sort of the way that it rolls. The main thing is really to continue connecting and learning and listening to the teachings and wisdoms that they are sharing with you along your path. So I just wanted to sort of start off with that little chat about how, if you want to explore green witchcraft, absolutely go for it. You don't already need to have a perfect understanding of how every plant needs to be tended to. So let's dive into some simple ways to work with plant energy on a daily basis. And as with all of my witchcraft and magical resources, absolutely feel free to connect with what really speaks to you. And if there's something that doesn't quite fit with your practice, that's okay. Everyone has really unique interpretations of what works for them in their magical practice. So these are suggestions. So let's just jump right in, shall we? So the first one is essential oils. I really like working with essential oils, primarily in my diffuser. It's one of the cold mist type diffusers that has the little mist coming out, and I do have a sensitive nose generally to most scented things, so I find that really gentle scents from my diffuser are my favorite. So just a drop or two here or there, just to add that gentle energy to the atmosphere and that lovely scent. So that is probably the primary way that I work with essential oils. You can also work with them in a lot of different ways. The second one that I would be sort of considering as a go-to is in my sort of cleaning practices. I love cleaning with some peppermint oil, having that in the cleaning solution mixture. And I find that it just adds that really healing, soft energy while also invigorating with that peppermint burst of sort of vitality, and it awakens the smells. So it's a good smell to have around. But why work with essential oils? Essentially essential oils are made from in different ways of distilling plants. So they are very much so a concentrated form of plant, and that's what gives them such strong fragrances. The one thing, or one of the things to keep in mind when exploring essential oils, when working with them, is your allergies. You don't want to be using them if you feel like you're allergic to them. And also another thing is to keep in mind that they're quite strong. So if you're going to be using them in any sort of homemade products, you'll want to do a bit of research into that particular oil and its general applications, whether it's only good for sort of cleaning things or whether you can put it in bath and body stuff. So it's something that is worth really sinking into a research for before you head into a creation mode with your essential oils. Number 2 is gardening. I adore gardening. In almost all of my videos, there is a plant somewhere around. Sometimes in the summer, there's fewer plants in here and there's more outside. Today we have the usual indoor crowd is joining me for this video. We have bonsai, we have some succulents, which I'm in the process of learning how to care for. There's a spider plant in the background, which is actually a bunch of little baby spider plants. We have one spider plant that has given us so many different spider plants. There's a lot of spider plants in here. So spider plants, and then a Norfolk pine, and hanging out behind him is a little palm that is slowly growing. It is unto itself. So gardening is a really good way to sort of literally connect with earth, to sink your hands in the soil, to feel that sort of energy, to get one-on-one with the plants and learn from them in their sort of plant form as a plant. So gardening is definitely really high up on the list of different ways to connect with green witchcraft, to explore plant energy and work with it on a daily basis. And if you're thinking of this in sort of a daily activity thing, it's not necessarily that you're going to be repotting or planting every single day. It can be simply tending to them, making sure that their soil has the right amount of water, that they're getting the right amount of sunlight. Simple daily care that really goes a long way to furthering a magical relationship with their plant energy. Number 3, incense. I really like incense. Smudging or smudge bundles, they're not something that work for me. The dried herb smudging is not something that really works for me in my practice, primarily because I have a very fussy smoke detector and it would not be a fan of that. So I go with incense instead, and this is a really easy way to connect with that plant energy. There's so many different types of incense out there. There's all natural ones. There's a lot of ones that are available in a variety of shops. So incense is something that is very easily accessible as a way to connect with plant energy that has been sort of dried and put on an incense stick or in an incense cone. So following incense, our next green witching plant energy tip is working with candles. And no, I am not a quick change artist. I had to pop out when I was recording the video yesterday and didn't get a chance to get back to the recording area until today. So hence the quick change. All right, so candles. Candles, like incense, they come in such a different variety of scents. They're very readily available. If you are looking for candles that are friendly for sensitive noses, look for the gently fragranced ones or the ones that use more natural fragrance sources instead of some of the harsher ones. A lot of candles that are fragranced can give off gassing, and I find that it really depends on the type of candle. If I'm using something that has synthetic fragrances in it, different brands I'm completely fine with, and other brands I find them perhaps too intense of a fragrance and it just doesn't feel right. So when you're working with candles and plant energy and you're looking for specifically in a sense of fragrances, keep in mind ones that have that either lighter scent or more natural scent. And another way that I find you can definitely connect with plant energy and candles is by incorporating color magic. So whether you're using a regular fragrance candle or an unscented candle, they come in a lot of different colors. So you can connect with plants on a seasonal level by bringing in that colorful, magical energy. So I was gonna say this might not work with for purple, but if you're looking for something that's really soothing and relaxing and you have lavender in your mind, then working with a purple candle could be a good fit. But something like green around Beltane, bringing in that luscious, vibrant agricultural energy, something like a yellow candle around the harvest season, around Letha. Orange, when we get close to Samhain, the leaves turn orange. You incorporate that plant energy in that aspect. Something white or silvery around Yule, winter time, when all of the plants, at least in the northern hemisphere version of Yule, are slumbering under the snowbanks. So by incorporating color magic, it opens up an additional way to work with candles beyond candle fragrances and herbal type candles. Following this, there is soaps. I really like working with natural soaps as a really, really easy way to connect with plant energy on a daily basis. Whether you're using hand soap or you're looking for bath and body products, I tend to keep an eye out for natural soaps. My current favorite soaps are the Rocky Mountain soaps, and they are Canadian made. They are made with all natural ingredients, and this one, which is lavender, has lavender oils in it, has little lavender buds. I'll pop it out of the wrapper, and you can see there's actually little lavender buds in there as well, and it smells fabulous. So working with something like this is a way to connect with plant energy on a soothing, relaxing level, having a nice relaxing shower with a lavender soap bar, or on the flip side, if you're looking for something invigorating, something refreshing, then something with mints in it or lemongrass is going to be very lend an energetic energy to your soap, to your plant energy. So soap's a whole nother way to connect with plant energy. And then we have cooking with herbs. So I absolutely adore cooking. You guys know I talk about kitchen witchcraft. I really find that working with herbs in my kitchen, cooking just on a regular basis as Dragon goes crazy and runs around his house. He's on an adventure in there, guys. He is looking out and he's on an adventure. Anyways, I really love cooking with herbs, and I find it's another very simple way to weave in that plant energy in a really natural, just simple, easy way. Spices, herbs. I really like to dry the herbs from my garden, and then later on during the season when it's winter and I don't have access to those fresh herbs, I can incorporate that into my cooking as a magical green witchcraft touch. Then the other thing I wanted to mention with cooking with herbs is there can be sometimes misconceptions that herbs purchased from magical stores or stores with a magic focus are sort of the utmost and best and only way to explore herbal energy. But grocery store herbs, especially for cooking, are absolutely perfect. They are still plants. They have all of that plant energy in them, and it's all about the energy that you are infusing into them, the magic that you are infusing into them. Then we have herbal books. So I brought some more show and tell of my favorite herbal books here to share with you. And there's a few different ones here. I have ones that speak to they're primarily actually ones that speak to the magical energy, but when you're working with herbal books, you can work with not just magical energy focused books. There's also field guides to exploring herbs in your area. I still have a field guide from a previous city that I lived in, so I really enjoyed working with that when I was in those parks. I haven't picked up one for the current area I'm in. When I am out and about, generally plant life is similar-ish, so I haven't sort of picked up an additional one specific to my current city, but there are different guides out there that are available for all sorts of cities. So when you are looking for plant and herbal guides, just keep in mind that it doesn't have to be magic focused ones. It can also be field guides, it can also be cookbooks, it can be herbal healing books that talk about the different medicinal uses of herbs, and there's essentially just a wealth of information there. So my favorite magical focused ones are Magical Housekeeping, and this one has a bit of a few different things in it. The plant section, let me just find it, is Plant Allies. And it talks about plants like aloe, bamboo, basil, and offers different tips for growing them inside. Hey, there's a Norfolk pine, a Norfolk Island pine. And I will read you a little section from this. Norfolk Island pine is a gem. He's a hardy yet gentle soul, and he happily absorbs excess negativity and transforms it into love. And as we mentioned, we have Norfolk pine right behind us. So this book offers different guidance around herbs that you can easily sort of grow in your home. It is a more housekeeping focused book. Then the other book that I have is Sacred Herbs. And this one has really, really lovely graphics. I seem to be on like a major lavender roll here today. Nope, this is Hyssop. Is it? Yes. This is Hyssop. So this is why plant books are handy, because at first glance I saw the purple and I thought lavender, but this is actually a different type of plant. This is why learning is really, really useful, and it's an ever expanding and rolling journey. But here we have some basil as well, and it has some really nice pictures in this book. Sacred Herbs also has a bit of a discussion, depending on the plants, about whether you can eat it or not and what sort of properties it is associated with. My all-time favorite is the Green Wiccan Herbal. This holds a very special place in my heart. This is one of the first witchy books that I bought. It has a really nice layout. The pages are all antiqued, and they have that nice sort of grimoire feel to it. And then when you get into the herbs, there's a nice long panel about the herb, about the plant, about its deities, about the planet it's associated with, magical uses and non-magical uses. So this one also holds a forever special place in my heart. And then rolling into the next section, this is sort of blending plant books and oracle cards, because another great way to work with plant energy is by working with plant oracle cards or tarot cards. The Green Witch Tarot Companion book has a lot of different herbs that are woven into it, and it offers some insight. So for instance, on the moon, it has a section on chamomile. Chamomile, for calm, intuition, and insight, grows along the path to the pool. So it talks about the herb in relation to the card, as well as its metaphysical energy. Then the other favorites I have for plant oracle cards are the Druid Plant Oracle. Again, this has a really amazing guidebook, a lot of information in here, both about the metaphysical or spiritual meanings associated with the herbs, as well as diving into some of the history and the historical uses of the different herbs in this book. So a really fantastic tool. And one thing about working with oracle cards and guidebooks as a learning source is that they really do provide visual cues. So while you are moving through the energy of the different cards of the different plants, you get this visual cue that you can learn from. Like with fern here, we have that visualization of fern. Then you can go into the guidebook or the side book, the accompanying book, and dive further. And a couple cards, Primrose. The Guardians has a collection of different herbs and plant energy in there. And we'll end it off with Mistletoe for Druid Plant Oracle. If you want to see all the cards in this deck, then just simply have a look at the video, because I did an unboxing of it. Then the other favorite for plant oracle cards is a combo plant and animal deck. And this is the Celtic Oracle book and cards deck, which is split into two sections about plants and animals. So we have different plants that are mentioned in the deck, and they are all written in Gaelic with that Celtic influence really coming through strongly. This one is very much so associated with the Celtic mythology that is associated with plants, so you get that additional perspective. And then wrapping it all up, drying herbs. So I mentioned this a bit in cooking and how I work with herbs, but drying herbs is a really soothing and magical way to connect with all of that gardening you did earlier on throughout the winter season, throughout the harvest season, when things are winding down, when you might not be able to grow herbs as easily, or they take a lot longer to grow because it's inside and there's not a lot of sunlight, depending on where you live. So drying herbs is a way to continuously connect with this herbal energy from your garden throughout the cycle of the seasons, not just during the summer or when it's best and plants thrive easiest. So those are several tips on how to connect with plant energy on a daily basis. I would love to hear how you work with plant energy, if any of these decks are some of your favorites. If you have some other favorites you'd like to pop down in the comments section below and share with us, that would be absolutely wonderful. I wish you a most blessed green magical day.